Okay guys, today is the day. It is update time. Updates on all my fall plots. Some work good, some were experimental, not so great, but we're going to have a look at them all here today. We're going to start out with number one. This is the best thing I've got going. This is where I can do some hunting over this plot. Some of the experimental plots I don't even hunt over them, but I'm going to turn the camera around. We're going to talk about some things here. I'm going to show you some of the plots. What worked, what didn't. And we're in the pasture to plot area right now. And I'm going to take you inside and show you what's inside this screened in 2-acre field. Last week we had all that weather event come through from Hurricane Ida. All that rain and wind came up through her, and it had actually knocked down a lot of this screen. You could see some of it's kind of leaning out still, but it was laying down flat on my food highway from Domain to No BS. And I came over and put potash, NPK, you got the K, put the potassium to it, and that gives good stalk strength in stuff like this, like your screenings. And look, it's popping right back up and starting to stand again. Let's go inside and have a look. There's a good area right there where the deer are entering, and an area right there. I usually put a tree stand right above this. So let's step inside, see what we've got. We've got this beat down. My goodness. 2 acres of green, all screened in. And what do we have? We have tons of winter wheat and showstopper from Domain, which is a lot of brassica and rutabaga. This plot worked out exceptionally well. You can see how high the screen is down there. I mean, we're talking 10, 12 feet. All along this. Over this area out here, there's a road that I wanted to screen it off from. Makes them feel safe back here. To get back in here, there's a fence row with an adjoining property that I'm allowed to hunt. And a lot of deer enter and exit from that area. Let's walk up here. I'll show you what my broadcasted corn turned out like. So this is where I broadcasted the corn, and it's coming on strong now. Starting to get some small stalks of cobs, I should say, cobs of corn on it. Getting some silky stalks here, like this here. There's a corn cob inside of there. So I'm gonna get a little bit of corn out of it, and that goes up there for quite a ways. So that, I count that as a success. I may do a lot more of this next year. I thought I planted it thinner, but man, it really came in thick. So I'll have to go thinner yet if I do it again. But I didn't put it in till after July 4th, so I still got a whole nother month of growth on it to come. That's why it looks so small right now. now we're on the outside of the 2-acre plot again, and I have that screen, and I put a screen in the middle of this field. Like I said, there's a road over there, so they can get in here and feel safe. And this whole portion here is a mirror of that 2 acres. I have 2 acres here in the center, and it's clover and grasses. plenty of it, but as you can see, there's plenty of clover in here, and it's about ready for a haircut. But I'm going to wait another week or two and cut over top of the clover, and that should slow down the grasses. Probably be the last cutting of the year, and we've got lots of lush clover in and amongst the grass, which I'm not worried about grass. So actually got 4 acres of food here plus corn, and then there's another approximately 11-12 acres on the other side of that screen of just pasture grass that they like to eat on that too. Okay, down in this area, this was all hot chick in the spring, and I turned it in, and right now it's showstopper. Now I'm only about 3 weeks post planting, so this stuff isn't huge yet, but I've got another good month of growth left before I get a frost, so not worried about that. They're in it every night, they enjoy it, young and tender. Okay, we've got transitioning down here from showstopper right into a line of no BS, and you can kind of see the transition. You can see some of the grains sticking all up, stuff that looks like grass. And over here I had to save the plot a little bit. I had a big washout right here where everything drowned off and washed off, and I came down and hit it with a little bit of brassica and a little bit of winter wheat. Don't forget, guys, you can always save a plot if you have exposed dirt with a winter wheat or winter rye, some clover, some brassica before a rain. You know, you can broadcast this stuff out and you can save a plot, but it's got to be bare dirt. So I've got this horseshoe effect going over here. You guys seen this before. I've got the shanty there. So that's another one of the plots. Everything's looking good. This here's the beet down, the sugar beets. Not disappointed in the seed, and I really didn't do anything wrong. We just had so much this heat and humidity, and a little bit of a low-lying area here. You can see it dips down and kind of dishes out. It's probably holding too much moisture, and it's probably stunted everything back a little bit, along with the grass growth in there. No knock on domain stuff. I mean, I planted this at the end of July, and for the first whole month I was sending Mike and Tim from Domain all kind of bragging pictures of the beets. Everything looked awesome, and then the last 2 weeks all this grass grew in. We had all that rain from that hurricane come, and people that I talk to have never seen the grass and weed problems that we have this year in the past. Usually we're fighting drought-like conditions and praying for rain. Now we're praying for it to quit raining so we can get some plots dried out. So anyhow, when all this dries down a little bit and we're into that season where weeds are about done growing, And this dries out a little bit, the beets will take back off, and they'll still be here for cool season. The deer are in it every night. I have anywhere from 9 to 13 deer in here every night while we sit here and eat dinner. Because the house is right here. Yep, just a little experimental plot I wanted to do and watch the deer in the backyard. And that's exactly what we do. It's still drawing them. Okay, this is what everybody was interested in. I made that no-till video. Everybody said, I want to see the results. I want to see how that worked for you. Well, it definitely worked. But what's happening is the deer are just hammering the snot out of it. You can see it all coming up in there. But lots of grass too. Now, when I made that video, I talked about not using any glyphosate. I don't like to use chemicals, but maybe that's why these guys use gly, to combat that grass. But there again, this is not a normal year. This year has been crazy. Sometimes I gotta cut the grass twice a week. It's just been ridiculous with the grass and weeds. But yeah, they're in this every night, hammering the heck out of it too. And we'll see what happens when some of the colder weather hits and some of this stuff wilts off. We'll see if any of this will really get a chance to take off. Right now it's getting a little bit of a break because the acorns are dropping. And the deer aren't in it as heavy and hot, so they're giving a little bit of a break. So, but that's our update video. Like I said, I had 2 experimental plots, and you've seen, I'm transparent. They got hit pretty good with all this wet weather and humidity. The grass and things are put a stunt to it, stunning it back a little bit, but it's not a lost cause. And they're just experimental. These aren't places that I hunt over. There's just places that I feed the deer. So the main thing is the pasture plot across the road and down here in the woods plot. And those are looking like the bomb track. That's the good stuff, man. I like them 2 plots. That's where I mainly shoot does over the plots. I don't really buck hunt over plots too often. I go deep in the woods for my bucks. Now, of course, if I'm sitting on a plot and a good buck comes along, I'm not gonna pass it. But normally, when the rut starts kicking, I go deep. I get real deep. I don't know if you guys follow the channel or not, but last 3 years, I shot 3 really good bucks. Probably 2 to 3 are probably the best bucks I've ever shot in my life, as far as width and just mass. And just looking forward to that first week in November again, hitting the big woods and seeing what's coming to these plots. So I hope you guys enjoyed the update video, and remember to subscribe. And these experiments, teach me, they teach you. It's a learning experience. So now I know to do some different things next time, and hopefully you do as well. And it didn't cost you a dime. It was on my dime, so no harm, no foul for you. Subscribe and like. See you guys later.